This is a 1970s. Now this coin is the proof coin, so it's San Francisco minted proof quarter here, and you can see that the coin has been double struck, and we see that there on the design of the coin. So you can see Liberty there twice because it's been double struck and rotated there. You see the phrase "In God We Trust" again right underneath right above the date and underneath the other phrase "In God We Trust," there by Washington's neck. And then we can see the date 1970 again, the design and the mint mark, the S mint mark there on the right side of the coin. So always be on the lookout for double strikes, things like this. This coin sold for over $1,900. Now if we look at the 1970 regular business strike coin, you can look for this in your pocket change because you can always find 1970 quarters in your pocket change. But what you want to look for is a double die obverse. So look for doubling there on the date. You can see that really there on the 1 and the 7. Really noticeable there on the 7. And look for doubling because that will give your coin some value. Now here's a 1970 D mint mark, Washington quarter. Now this quarter is not got a mint state grade. It's graded at about uncirculated 50. So it's still a pretty decent grade, but it's not a mint state coin. This coin has that double die obverse, that doubling on the date, and this coin sold for over $1,200. So $1,200. Now this coin here sold for over $2,800, and this is the same exact coin, however it's graded at a mint state 65. So very awesome coin to look for because you can find 1970 quarters all day in your pocket change or bank rolls from the bank, and you can put them underneath the coin microscopes, which I have available on couchcollectibles.com, and you can search for these errors. Now here's a 1970D double die reverse. Now this coin is graded at a mint state 66. So if we look at this picture here, look for doubling on the lettering of the coin, on the reverse of the coin. Look for lettering on all the back of the coin with your coin microscopes. Now this 1970D here sold for over $1,500 because of that double die reverse, as well as because of the high grade of a mint state 66. Moving on to a 1971. Now this one is very cool looking. This coin is actually a Brockage error taking place on this coin, and this quarter was actually struck on a 5-cent planchet, which is very unique to have here with this Brockage and being struck on a 5-cent planchet. So this quarter you can see that it does not have a reverse design. You see Washington twice, Washington backwards on one side as a result of the error taking place on the coin. And this 1971 Washington quarter sold for over $2,500. $2,500. Moving on to a 1971 double die reverse. So just like the 1970, you want to look for doubling on the lettering of the coin on the back of the coin. So always be on the lookout for that on both the 1970 and 1971 quarters. Now for this quarter here specifically, this quarter is graded at a mint state 65, which will give it a lot of value as well. And then again, it does have that double die reverse. You see there on the coin slab, DDR, that's what that stands for, double die reverse. And this quarter here sold for over $8,000. $8,000 US because of the high grade and because of the doubling. Next up is a very cool coin. This is a 1972S. So San Francisco minted Washington quarter. Now this again is the proof quarter. It is not the business strike. Now this coin is interesting because it was actually struck on a foreign planchet. It was struck on a coin from Italy, a 1953 Italy coin. So very cool. Now this coin here actually has the design of the Italy coin. You can see going through Washington's head. But if you really want to know if your coin is struck on a foreign planchet, I mean, most of the time you can just weigh it, and really by looking at it, I mean, you can tell most of the time by looking at it if you know what you're doing. But this coin's really cool because you can actually see the design of the Italy coin there. Even on the reverse, you can see it going through there, the eagle. So very awesome coin and pretty expensive coin. This quarter sold for over $2,900, $2,900 quarter. Moving on to a simple type of error, a 1973D. Now you can look for off centers on just about any type of coinage out there. It's 50% off center here, and this quarter sold for over $690. Moving on to a 1974 Denver minted Washington quarter. Now this one here, I've shown these in a lot of videos. This can happen on a lot of different coins as well. This quarter was struck on a 1 cent blank planchet. So a 1 cent planchet, basically a penny planchet. So that's why it's got that copper coloration to it. It weighs 3.14 grams. And this coin sold for over $560. Next up is a 1976. Now, I've done a whole video on these, actually a couple videos. So a lot of people keep the bicentennial quarters for the, you know, the reverse and things like that, or whatever. Some people just collect them. But what you want to look for is doubling on the front of the coin, a double die obverse. So look for that on your 1976 quarters underneath your coin microscopes, because a lot of people just throw these back into circulation. A lot of people don't collect them. But look for that doubling. You can see here on the coin slab, it says double die obverse 1976D. It's graded at about uncirculated 53, and this coin sold for over $400. So you can always look for doubling on those. Always remember that, and don't forget to go check out my 1976 quarter video. I go more into depth of coin prices for those particular coins. Now let's move on to another bicentennial quarter. This has been struck 15% off center, and this quarter here sold for over $130. Now for the 1977 Washington quarter, now this quarter here has been struck on a 5 cent planchet. So essentially, this Washington quarter was struck on a nickel. You can see there at the top that the word Liberty is being cut off on the design. And then if we go here to the reverse of the coin, you can see that taking place there at the bottom, where $quarter is pretty much fully cut off. Definitely dollar is really cut off there all the way. So always be on the lookout for off centers and coins that struck on the wrong planchet, because they could give your coin some value. Now this quarter didn't sell for a ton of money, but it still sold for a little over $50. Moving on to a 1978 Washington quarter that has been double struck and rotated in collar. So we do have a mint error here. Now this is kind of similar to the first coin we looked at with the 1970's that was double struck. Now this coin here is very cool. You can see the outline of Washington's head going through the coin there. Now if we go here to the reverse, you can actually see the design of the coin as well. So if we look on the right side of the coin, you can see "of America" being rotated right there in between the lettering. So that's very cool. You can actually see that. And then there at the top of the coin, you can also see the wings from the other design that was double struck there. So that's very, very cool. Always be on the lookout for things like that. This coin here sold for over $170. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. And until tomorrow, I'll see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.